What's going on, Screen Thumb? Sorry I sound a little funny, guys. I'm dealing with some sort of virus, pneumonia, something. I don't know what it is. I've been sick all week. Oh yeah, look at that. Another plane. You have any idea how hard it is to film content when you're right next to the airport? So today, right in front of me here, we're going to be harvesting a bunch of onions. I've always said, you know, when the tops of your onions flop over, they're ready to harvest. I've got a bunch of them. The tops are already flopping over. It's starting to get cold at night, so we're going to pick the ones that have flopped over and maybe come back next weekend or something and see if the rest are ready. So let's flip this camera around here. All right, so we're at the onion patch, and some of them are looking pretty scraggly, right? And to be honest, I'm not sure if some of these ones with really big fat stems are even going to flop over on me. But this is what I'm talking about. See how it's flopped over? So those ones too. So I'm going to come through here, and any of them that have flopped over, we're going to pull. And then I'm going to take them home, and I'll do another video on showing you guys how to cure your onions, okay? So if you guys are watching this, pay attention to the next onion video that comes out, and I'll give you guys a breakdown of how to cure your onions so they last a long time for you. Okay? All right. So we're literally so if you guys haven't grown onions before, there's your onion root. There's really not a whole lot to onion roots. So you don't really have to fight with them. They basically just sit on the surface and they just come out. That's simple. We just toss them in the bag. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to walk through the garden. I'm going to pull them out, the ones that are ready. See, and some of the ones like this that are kind of on the path, the tops have already been knocked over. So so when the tops get knocked over, that means those onions are no longer growing, right? So just pull them. That's all we're going to do. It's not a bad size onion. There's a couple nice onions in here this year. Just work our way down the line. Pull them. I'm just going to leave them in the center, and then I'm going to come back and collect them all and put them in a bag. And if you guys have ever wondered what an onion set is, this is about the size of an onion set. So an onion set, so onions are biennial, okay? They put out seeds on their second year of growth. So you guys can see how small that is. When you buy onion sets, they're about that big. So when onion growers want to grow onion sets, what they do is they take onions, they grow them from seed. They got to grow them from seed. And then they grow them till they're about this big. And then they shut all the water off to the onions. And the tops just dry out like that. See? There's no top left on that. The onion sets the tops just fade out. And then they harvest these and they sell them to people. And then you take this onion just as it sits now and you just plant it. That's simple. Onion sets are literally that simple. If this was an onion set, that's planted. Easy peasy, right? Now the problem with growing onion sets is several problems, which is one of the reasons why I don't grow onion sets. They don't store well because they're on their second year of life. Right? Because when you replant it, technically it's its second year of life. They don't store well because their sole focus on their second year of growth is to make seeds, right? You look around, these are all grown from seed. None of these will produce seeds this year. But if I stuck these back in the ground next year, they would grow seeds again. They would grow seeds, which you can harvest to grow first year onions all over again. And second off, I lost my train of thought there. So yeah, so they'll grow seeds on their second year, which means they won't be the nicest onions either because they start to put all their effort into growing seeds so they can, continue their life. They want to spread their genetics. And second off, they don't store well. Now, the nice thing about onions is you can buy a bag of onion sets really cheap, couple of bucks for, 30, 40, 50 onions. You can stick them in your garden, and then when it's harvest time, right, you can bring them in, and you can process them down into, onion powder. You can store them for a little while, but not very long, because what'll happen is they'll try to grow out of the top here again, and the center of the onion will get all green inside, and it'll try to re-sprout. So they don't store well for that reason. So, but onion sets are okay. They're a super easy way to grow onions if you're going to use them that season. Okay, so there you go, onion sets. So we're just going to go through the garden. That's a nice one. That's supposed to be about average size here. These are yellow Utah onions. And another thing for you guys just kind of starting out to grow onions is onions do not tolerate weed pressure. Weeds grow way faster than onions, and they will choke your onions out, and they will smother them. So if you have an onion patch, unfortunately, you really, really need to pay attention to the weed content in your onion patch. And the ones in the back are kind of getting overrun, because this line with my basil and my Swiss chard and my kale and stuff has completely taken over. Like right there, that's a pathway covered over in Swiss chard and cilantro. So I wasn't able to weed there as thoroughly as I should have. But yeah, next year we're going to do things a little bit differently. So we're just going to, and you're wondering why all these tops are fizzling out? That's because the plants are pretty much done for this season. So that's okay. I just don't have enough time on my plate today to deal with all of this. So we're just going to come through, like I said, pick the ones that are ready, bring them home, because I can process these ones down relatively quickly. See, look, this is a pretty big one. That's as thick as my finger, and you see how it's bent, right? So even the big fat ones will still bend over. And another bit of onion information for you is when you look at your onion plant, let's see if we can find a good one to use as an example here. Okay, this is a good one. All right, you see this onion plant? Each one of these leaves, okay, see how many there are on there? Each one of these leaves corresponds to a layer in your onion. So you want as many leaves as you can. Generally, you want 9. Let's see how many we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. 12. So we have 12 layers inside that onion. So, all right, bonus. See? Now, like these little onions, I could keep these, right? And replant them next year, let's say in like my backyard garden or something, and just grow them as onion sets so I could just eat them at home. But I'll probably just end up bringing those home into the kitchen and then just finding something to do with them. So, like I said, we just work our way through, harvest them. We're just gonna put them in little piles. Yeah. We have a pretty decent looking harvest this year. I'm okay with that. You guys okay with that? Oh, missed that one. There we go. And then we're going to be picking carrots. I think the carrots are ready. I need to get those out of the ground before the bugs get to them. So, here we are, picking onions. Now I'm going to get a bag and I'll start at the end. And I'll just work my way through and pick up all these little clumps of onions and move on to, what am I moving on to? Maybe carrots, my carrot patch here. See if we can, let's take a peek in the carrot patch. What do you say? Holy moly, look at the size of that. That carrot is like 2 inches across the top. I hope it's going to be good to eat. We're going to can all these carrots. So I may not pick them today because I have so much food left in my kitchen from last weekend to process. And I have been like dog sick all week. I actually got sent home from work early yesterday because it was at a point where it was no longer safe for me to drive my dump truck. My brain was no longer processing properly. It was so bad that I even brought the wrong material to the job site for the client I was working for. Yeah, not so good. So I'm feeling a bit better today, so that's why we're here. All right, guys. Well, have a great day, and keep your eyes open for this onion curing video that's going to come out in probably a day or two as soon as I can get some time. All right. Love you lots. Have a great day. Grow good food. Like, comment, subscribe, guys, if you're not a subscriber. And that way you can follow along with the rest of the harvest from this year. And take care, okay? See ya.